Welcome back to another episode of We Talk Fit
with Mish and Dean.
You good? Good. Let's do this.
Easy.
We sort of follow on from last week when we were talking about injuries and common niggles and how we could potentially start working on, without seeing them, but trying to fix it in a general sense. We talk about shoulders and overactive traps and how we would remedy those sorts of things. And we basically talked about how you reverse engineer, what muscles should be doing the work, which things aren't necessarily doing the work, why does the joint feel restricted and things like that. And it's basically then just taking that same principle and applying it to wherever the complaint is. So if we went towards lower back, so how many people have you ever heard say, "Oh, I've got a bad back"? That's typically the bad back. But normally what it means is they have some pain in their lower back. So where would you start unraveling?
Well, it's hard because it's very broad, I suppose. But I would look a little bit at mobility. So, generally speaking, depending on what it is, if it's just tight, or it's pulling, or they got, unless they have like a bulging disc or something like that, ignore that as a sort of injury. But they got a sore back, it's a bit tender. I'd look at mobility and strength through their glutes and their hammies, and essentially, if you're pulling tight through one side, it's going to be putting pressure through your back. Your body's linked; it's a big chain. So you look at all of that side of things, and then work out if they're tight on one side or not on one side. I'll find that a lot of people will, especially parents, holding their young kids, on one hip. So they're building up a little bit of strength essentially on one side because they always go to that side, and then that side ends up being a little bit tighter and tighter, and it does most of the work. And then you're sort of looking at all of that to then try and reverse engineer and basically strengthen up either the other side, or if it is tight, then you look at a bit of a stretching routine for them and get them into different stuff that way essentially.
So it's the same.
Ignoring bulging disc if you've done something like that. That's
again, to repeat what you said last time as well, it's hard without seeing the exact subject we're talking about. But generally speaking, I'll do the same thing. The first thing, if someone says they've got pain there, because pain's relative and everybody's idea of that's going to be different. And I can't feel what that person can feel. So generally speaking, I'll go the same path with trying to diagnose. I'll go, okay, start at the hamstrings. Might even start at ankle mobility sometimes. Hamstrings, and work my way up. And if I haven't noticed any problems, and we get into glutes and specifically get into lower back, can they extend and can they flex and those sorts of things, then you're basically trying to figure out where the issue is in the scheme of so there's a journey of, let's call it, you can move every joint in your body really well and you can't move any of them. You're trying to figure out where we need to jump in and start. We start training here.
Yeah, like I say, with your back and flexibility and things as well, you're looking at your hip tilt if they.
That's a big one.
The hip tilt. So you're sort of looking at diagnosing and trying to work back on that as well. That's often what I'm looking at.
So I'll train, I'll figure out how mobile they are through the hamstrings, as in, can they have straight legs and flex at the hip? So we are back. Okay, a couple of things went on there, dealt with, done. Where were we? Lower back.
Lower back, diagnosing.
So I think I said I agree with you that I would start with hamstrings. If you can, for instance, if you can sit on the floor, with legs straight out in front of you, with your legs locked out straight, so that the bottom of the underside of your legs is in contact with the floor the whole way, and you can sit up tall, you're in a pretty good spot. Most people should be able to do that, but you'd be surprised
How many
how many
people?
people can't sit up and have their legs flat on the floor.
Hmm.
Will typically have like a flex in their leg because the hamstrings are just way too tight.
Yeah.
So start with that, and then if that obviously tells you something, hamstrings are tight, you're going to start specific stretches around your hamstrings and start training your hamstrings. Build the strength in them while you're building the mobility or the range in them.
Yeah.
And then from there, you would then go into glutes, and then loose combination with core. And at the minute people hear you say core, they go, "Oh yeah, have a stronger core," and they just actually don't listen to what you're trying to tell them, because you can do like sit-ups and do shit all day, but that's not training your core. So specifically where what we want to be able to get your structure into a neutral position and then be able to brace it and hold it there.
Yeah. Yeah.
So through experience of what I had going on with my lower back and still have a little bit, things like your bird dogs, dead bugs. So bird dogs on all fours, hands and knees. Take opposite leg, opposite hand out as far away from you as you can. So you're basically doing a Superman. Without letting your back arch. So you give that exercise to someone,
or tilting, or
and they start doing, "Oh yeah, I can do these reps easy," but then every time they do the rep, they're going like, arch the back down, arch the back. No, it's got to keep this still while the limb moves away from you. Dead bugs is obviously the same thing, but lying flat on your back and taking one leg out and one arm out. You'd be surprised how many people can't keep their lower back on the floor.
Yep.
So that's when we start talking about core. We're trying to build a stable environment around the spine, so that if there is something going on with discs, then
here to here.
yeah,
Core.
if there is something going on with discs and things. And I do want to say that obviously it's not fun having herniated discs. It can be really severe and really excruciating, but a form of herniated disc is a lot more common than what people think. I can't remember the numbers. I should have done my research, but it's very high percentage of people that if they went and got a scan, would have some evidence of disc damage. Most people. It's literally most people. Now, that's not saying everyone's got a horrendously prolapsed herniated disc, but so when people say, "Oh yeah, I've been to the Cairo and I've had this done," and then they sent me for all these x-rays and they've shown me this, I'm always a little skeptical, because the business model that these places operate is repeat business. So they're going to want the scan. Not that I'm not saying they're lying. I'm not saying the thing isn't on the scan, but how they interpret that.
How do you get your back ahead?
If they're not looking at strength, my take on any injury is there's a weakness somewhere. Something needs to get stronger. So if your professional is only medicating or telling you to stop, that's a big red flag for me.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. There's something else going on.
A pause and then some work. Okay, I hear you. There might be a rest period needed, but if it's literally just
let the
stop
inflammation
doing
come
this.
down, pause, let the inflammation come down, let it settle a little bit, but not stop.
No.
Not stop. Yeah, you need to keep going. You need to get stronger. Somewhere there's something that is weak, like you said, and I would 100% agree with that. But then you need to work on that, strengthen it up. It'll get better. I've had clients with bad backs and stuff. We've had a little bit of a chat about it before, and every now and then it'll play up a little bit, but nowhere near as bad. Nowhere near as many heavy duty painkillers. It was like every day, like heavy codeine. None of that anymore. It's more.
That's not
every now and then
anything,
there's a little bit of Panadol and everything. It's more like trying to work on strengthening that lower back, trying to strengthen all your erectors and
Yep.
keeping the core engaged in every single exercise you do. Like this client, I never really did just core exercises. So it wasn't making her do planks all the time. It wasn't making her do dead bugs all the time. It wasn't making her do
Yeah.
all of that all the time, but it was teaching her how to brace her core from shoulders to
In
hips
other
in
movements.
every single other movement in the gym.
Yeah.
So you're actually working your core for the full 45 minutes you're in here
It
and not
should
just
be.
5 minutes at the end.
The big one I go into with that is um, like imagine if you've got a sore back, someone listening now and they've got a sore back. Think to yourself, like, what movements would I be doing when it might hurt me worse? And a lot of the time, yes, obviously picking stuff up, bending over, that's typically stiffness rather than pain, but it can be pain. But a lot of the time, it's when people push weight overhead.
Mhm.
And that's almost the best example of what we're talking about with, stand up straight. If you stood side onto a mirror and just took your arm overhead as if you had like a dumbbell in your hand and looked at yourself side on in the mirror, you'd see that your back has naturally tried, your brain has naturally tried to shorten this distance by throwing the tummy forward and the shoulders
Mm.
back and down. Whereas what we should be doing is keeping the lower back pushed into a straight line and then reaching up.
Yeah.
Some people can't do that because of the mobility in the top section of the spine or the thoracic section of the
Oh
spine.
yeah. When people do that, I sort of explain a little bit with like when we're talking about hip tilt and stuff,
Mm.
I'm bringing it forward to try and keep that core engaged. So talk about wearing a belt.
Yeah,
So if you got a belt buckle, I want you to try and get that belt buckle face to something. So you're going to bring your hips forward.
that's a cool one. Yeah,
Yeah. So
yeah,
if you've got that belt on, you want to try and bring your hips forward a bit,
yeah,
depending on different stuff. So sometimes it might be a hip flexor stretch. Like right, bring your hips to the
yeah.
bring that belt buckle to the center for me. And then sort of packs that way.
That's a good cue, actually. I normally use, obviously, if they're on the floor, I use the towel under the lower back thing.
Yeah.
But in an upright position, that's a really good
Yeah.
way of getting them to do the same thing. I like that.
Mm, yeah.
I just sort of say, imagine you've got a weight belt on around your belly, and you just want to try and push into that
Yeah.
weight belt. Try and stretch the weight belt.
Yeah.
I guess 'cause that should force you to brace properly.
Generally speaking, you can barely talk when you brace properly.
Well, when I'm bracing to that extent, it's because I'm doing something heavy,
Yeah.
and I wouldn't want to be talking then anyway.
I wouldn't be able to talk.
Um, so we kind of jumped past it because we wanted to talk about lower back there, but in and amongst the lower body, knee niggles and injuries,
Hmm.
we'll try and catch it before it's ACLs and meniscus tears, and you could have minor meniscus stuff, that could just be like knee pain, and it's not to the point where you need surgery or operations, and you could still rehab it, prehab it, and get it pretty good.
Hmm.
So again, if you've got knee pain that hasn't become a big injury like that, where would you start trying to figure out what's going on there?
I started feet actually.
Yeah, it's on
So
ankles.
um, I have sort of your feet, ankles, etc. I actually often get people to take their shoes off, and we work on spreading their toes
Mm-hmm.
on the floor, actually using their whole foot, having more stability. You'll get
Making a more stable platform.
a lot of people come in the gym with um, soft soled shoes,
Runners,
which
which I'm wearing.
yeah, well, that's so am I. So you've got already got um, really low stability in your foot. So I'll get them to actually take them off, and then they are already more stable. Their ankles aren't doing this, which then means their knees are more stable, their hips are more stable, and they can get into say it's a squat.
Mm-hmm.
They're stronger. Everything's working the way it should be. Whereas when you've got those soft shoes on and stuff, and they're not learning to use their feet properly or their movements through their toes properly, they'll often you'll get that sort of reaction chain reaction, kinetic chain,
Yeah.
will come up from your ankles up through. So sort of sometimes look at that a little bit as well, and then work on stabilizing ankles and knees that way first before even looking.
Yeah, well, I think if you're unstable in any of that, that I would be dealing with that before I try and fix anything else.
Hmm.
Because, so for instance, flip it on its head the other way. If someone can do like a split squat, maybe, and they've got knee pain or like a little bit of discomfort in the bottom of the split squat,
Hmm.
but their foot is really flat the whole time. There's no movement laterally
Hmm.
through the ankle, so we know that they've got good strength that way. And their shin goes over their toes,
Hmm.
so we know they've got ankle mobility.
Hmm.
Then we know something else is going on near the knee.
Yeah.
So it could be more like tendonitis or
Chewing lunchbox.
she's eating something.
They eating a bar with a ball.
We have the pup back with us today, and we could hear some munching going on, and she's decided, because she's teething, and she hasn't done that all morning, but now because we're talking, she's decided to
Chew the ball.
chew the ball. So that's why Michelle dashed off.
Sorry.
No, that's good. But yeah, so if you can sort of see evidence that the foot's stable, meaning the ankle's good, generally, we know the calf's doing its job and the small stuff around that, then we might look at, okay, is there a bit of tendinopathy or like bottom of quads strained, maybe, same thing. Or potentially a little bit of meniscus stuff going on,
Yeah.
minor ACL, MCL, PCL.
Yeah. I also sometimes look at I'll look at glutes and hammies as well in the knees.
Yep.
If it's not below the knee, I'll look above. Um, so a lot of people will have weak glutes and weak hammies
Yeah.
when they get valgus knees, so their knees will come in.
Yeah.
And I'll work on that a bit as well, depending on what
Yeah,
their
so
form
the
of foot is as
hammies,
well.
if your hammies and your glutes aren't doing one big component that they're meant to do and keeping those legs parted, let's call it, hips externally rotated a little bit, the knees will cave in. And then small things like connective tissue, like ACLs and PCLs and MCLs and a bit of meniscus, they'll be doing a job that they're not really designed to do in trying to pull that joint out. And they're literally there just to stop that happening. They're not really there to try and. So quite rightly, I should have probably like sort of prefaced it with, if you've got knee pain and you can do like really heavy, good quality leg extensions, but can't do a leg curl, we're definitely starting with leg
Well,
curl.
yeah.
Because there's something glaringly obvious that your hamstring strength's nowhere near where your quadriceps strength is.
Imbalance.
So if there's an obvious imbalance, then hey presto.
Yeah.
And then you know what? What's the worst thing that can happen if you eliminate that imbalance and make them closer and you still have an issue?
Mm.
Hopefully it's improved, but if it's still the same, then we know that we're working down the chain of the list of things.
Yeah. That elimination.
If it is down the lines of, tendonitis and those sorts of things, then we'll be using things like isometrics. So it could be, well, I've been doing it loads with one of my clients this morning because he's had some stuff going on with his knee, like resistance band around the squat rack, put your foot down through the band, pushing that knee
Engage that.
till the leg's in a locked-out position. So it's called a terminal leg extension. But yeah, you're trying to get the quad to do all its work and hold and stay there. But we're not putting 300 kilos on it. And we're not loading it from above.
Yep.
Then you might take that into a leg extension and try and get, obviously with lightweight, full range of motion. So can I get my leg fully flexed into the bottom? Can I fully contract the quad and extend my leg? And then can I get that there and hold it there?
Yeah. Yeah.
And it might be single leg versions of that. It might be, because obviously if you've only got the pain in one side, you don't want to just constantly be doing both legs, because guess what? The strong one's just going to keep getting stronger. So.
Well, excuse me, perhaps I'm I've done most of the things I do, so yeah, you take care.
You too, mate.
Cheers.
Stay safe.
See you later.
Bye bye. You stay there.
See you, mate.
Okay.
See ya.
Yeah, so we're never trying to make it complicated. I know sometimes we'll have little cues and
Little
you'll be
things,
doing an
yeah.
exercise and we'll change how you do it and all those sorts of things. But I promise you, with my simple brain, I'm trying to dumb things down. And then again, like I said last week, it's not that
Just in
we
the
know
mechanics to
shit tons, it's that we know lots of exercises to target different things. But the procedure of diagnosis is it's the same, more or less. Start here, right, we've eliminated that problem, now it's here. No, that's not a problem, now we know it's here. And then with knees, probably more so with people that are moving, so like your athletes and people like that, you want to look at a bit of lateral movement as well.
Mhm.
So it might be stepping down off a really low box sideways.
Yeah.
Can the knee take load in that movement? No, we're not ready for that yet. So we might tie the knee around a squat rack with a band again, but just get the knee pushing out over and take some tension that way.
Yeah, that's got that constant resistance that you've got to hold
It's
in that right position. That's been doing that with a client lately as well. The banded around one knee, and the same with the box, stepping down on one side. Starting really low is really important. People often try and look at it
and
themselves,
even
start really high, and they'll go, "Oh no, I can't do that." So
yeah, and even like
yeah,
again, little things like that. Like it might be as simple as getting like a 6-inch plyo box, setting it up in front of a mirror and just putting one foot on the box and leaving it there, the other foot's down behind,
Mhm.
and just step up to meet that other foot on top of the box and watch your knee tracking. Is it tracking through the line of your toes in the mirror? Like, or when you step up, does that knee cave in and then go back out? Okay, so there's what you mentioned about glutes and hamstrings and stuff.
Yeah.
Again, to repeat, the mirrors aren't just there for aesthetics. They use them as tools
To watch
to see if joints can work in a nice straight line together, or whether when you push, does something compensate. I promise you, if you simplify it, the fancy, heavy, big, awesome stuff comes a lot sooner than if you try and complicate it at the start. You might miss something super simple that could have
don't overcomplicate it.
got rid of that pain. But single leg work would be the big one that I think a lot of people miss as well with their training.
I do a lot of single leg work with my client.
I'm
And I was
so much stronger in my. Well, yeah, we're all the same. We deal with things because of experience, right? But I know, like, I'm way more dominant in my left leg, particularly my quads and stuff, than my right. So if I just constantly did leg extensions with both legs all the time, I would never balance that out.
Yeah. So you do single leg work as well.
Most leg sessions or
It
lower body
doesn't mean
sessions
doing
have.
20 reps on your right leg and 10 reps on your left, because you doesn't mean do that.
No.
No.
Was there any other niggles or anything that you kind of wanted to chat about? Or I think I touched on, obviously we need to listen to medical professionals. Obviously,
Yes.
they're qualified, they know what they're talking about. But just be weary of doing nothing. I don't understand how that fixes something.
And even if it's like,
listen to advice, but do what you can do.
yeah, don't stop. Even
Make a plan.
if you need to have a bit of a rest or whatever, say it's your knee, you
Yeah.
need to rest your knee for a bit. Your knee's not up here.
No.
Do some bench.
Make a
do
plan.
some back. Do something. Don't stop.
And then we have definitely mentioned, but if it is connective tissue related, the only way that will heal is finding the right load and movement and doing it. It might knit with just rest, but it's going to knit very tight, and then it's going to be a big problem trying to get range of motion back. So your isometrics are key to connective tissue.
Yeah.
And then again, find a coach that goes through this sort of stuff with you if you're someone that wants help with doing this. If it's someone that's just going to count reps or tell you to take something, it's probably a bit easy.
Yeah. Yeah, go see someone if you can and get the advice, get the help. Get them to look at your form, to check. There'll be times when I'll be doing something and I'll film and I'll go, oh, didn't realise it was like that. Okay, I'll adjust that.
Yeah.
You know,
And we're not expecting people to be personal trainers like after one conversation. Because even without injuries, someone will ask me what their form's like on an exercise and I'll tell them, and then I'll see them 2 days later doing the technique the way they used to do it.
Yeah.
Because they're not trying to do. Some people are. They're obviously in here for good reason and want good results. But because they don't look at it the same way we do, where we're always striving for perfect form or technique.
Yeah.
It slips. So just ask someone to check your form, and you might be surprised what even a mate that's training with you can spot.
Yeah, always trying to improve the technique, trying to get better. More is not better. Better is better.
There you go. Next one, we are going to talk about our training, I believe.
Yeah.
So our training,
Where we're at the
where
moment.
we're at with it, scheduling issues, maybe probably scheduling
mostly.
issues, nothing to do with playing golf all the time. So that's next episode.
Easy.
Thank you, mate.
Thank you.
Dunsky.
Dunsky.